Hey, how's it going? My name is Max. I'm going to go through my experience in high ticket sales as a high ticket sales rep. I've been in high ticket sales for the last 3 years. And before this, I had zero experience in high ticket sales at all and really like no experience in business. I'm more so making this video for the people that, hey, they want to make a good living in their lives, but they're not trying to like go live in a penthouse out in Miami. They actually want to maybe, have a family, live in like maybe a well-off neighborhood, but they don't need to be living in the penthouse. If that's you, then you're probably going to find some of this video interesting. So essentially, high ticket sales is any sort of like premium product or service from a company, like their highest end product or service that they're providing. And so that's usually, if you can think of like the most expensive thing, the most like premium thing that a company could sell, usually it's going to be anything over 5,000, 10,000, 20, $25,000. And I've sold things anywhere from, $1,000 up to $25,000 from someone that like had no experience at all getting into the space. One of my very first offers that I got on, and I was so excited about it because, the OTE was like $25,000 a month. And I was so excited because I was going to be making $300,000 a year. And so the offer was an Amazon FBA offer, which for for anyone that's in high ticket sales that's watching this, that offer is kind of a scammy. It's kind of a scammy industry, for sure. But I didn't know that. I knew nothing about it. So immediately when I got in, right, I started closing deals in the space, and I thought I was going to be making like $25,000 a month. And initially, I started making good money, more money than I'd made before, but I did not end up making $25,000 a month. Like that was like what got me started into high ticket sales and like this whole space where there's like tons of people that are making, 10, 20, 30, 40, some making $100,000 a month in high ticket sales. And so I knew there was a lot of opportunity here. I just knew that I had to get into like a better crowd. So hands down, if you can get into for me, right, like getting into the Closers IO pipeline is one of the best things that you can do because you're just always going to have offers. As long as you're like a hard worker and you're a good closer, you're always going to have offers coming your way. I ended up getting onto a health and fitness offer, which was awesome. Totally loved that. And I've basically gone from like health and fitness, e-commerce, and like business coaching, even sales training, things like that over the years. So like you should be aiming to get an offer where you're taking anywhere from 4 to 5 sales calls per day. And so if you're doing, let's say 5 a day, 5 days a week, there's 4 weeks, that's 100 calls a month. Not everybody's going to show up for those calls, but let's say that you have 65% of those people show up. You're going to have 65 calls in the month, right? So if you're taking 65 calls and let's say you have a 25% show or close rate, you're going to be closing about 16 deals in the month. And if you're closing those deals at $5,000, you're doing $81,000 in revenue. And with a 10% commission, you're making $8,000. Pretty realistic to be able to hit, anywhere from 6.5 to 10K per month. But you obviously could do a lot more than that, right? I wouldn't say that I'm the very best sales rep out there in the industry by any means, but I plan to be one of the best. But part of this is just me documenting my journey in terms of actually becoming like a good sales rep in the space. Or another thing that I guess that attracted me to get into high ticket sales in the first place was that I could do it from anywhere and I also could earn like a decent living doing it, right? And so I didn't really know how much work it was actually going to take to get into high ticket sales and to actually make like good money where you're making 6 figures. It is really nice in the sense that you can pretty much work wherever you want to. Me and my wife for the last 3 months went and lived in Costa Rica. We went and lived in Mexico for a month and it's great, right? And you're still able to make good money. Some other things that you might be like, you might be wondering like, hey, what's like the normal day look like if you're working remotely? Does that get kind of boring? And yeah, like it can get kind of boring working from home all the time. So you definitely have to like, there's often times that I'm like, oh man, like I wish that I could actually have an office, with coworkers that I could go and see and interact with every day. And then there's also times that I'm really happy that I just get to be like here in my home office, just, working from home at my desk. And so there's definitely pros and cons to it. And you have to make sure that you have your life set up in a way that, you know, you're not feeling like cooped up in your house, and that you have a good space that you like to work in, and that's something that's going to make sure that you're staying productive as well, which is what I have been able to set up over the years for myself. Like, some people paint the picture as like, hey, you're just going to go chill out on the beach, take some sales calls, and you're going to make like 10, 20K a month pretty easy. And that's just really not the case in high ticket sales. It's difficult, and it can be taxing, and it's a lot of work, and it can take a lot of time too. So for me, what my day looks like, so I wake up. I like to wake up early. You don't have to, but I just found that I perform the best when I wake up early. So I usually wake up around 5:30. I go down to the gym. I work out for an hour, and I come back. I'll usually do some scripture study, meditation, prayer, shower, do breakfast, and I'm usually on like a team meeting or taking my first calls by 8:30, 9 o'clock. So, and I usually take my calls from 8:30, 9 o'clock all the way until around 5, sometimes 6 o'clock at night. Basically working the entire time there. Maybe I'll take a 30, 45-minute break for lunch. Like, very focused effort while you're there. If you're somebody that wants to be a high performer and you want to like get a lot out of life, then this is something that you could really thrive in. Some things that I really wish that I would have known before getting into high ticket sales. I had such a scarcity mindset coming into this. Like, I look back at it, like, I was always afraid that we were going to run out of leads, and that if we did have leads, that somehow the leads were going to run out of money. And if I had enough leads that had enough money, that somehow the company would stop being able to fulfill for those leads, so then I wouldn't be able to get paid. Like, I just had so much scarcity around all these different things, and the truth of it is like, none of those things really were true. And so like, there are so many leads out there, and so many people have money, and as long as you're working for a good company, they're going to be able to fulfill for you. They're going to be able to take care when you're closing deals. And so those are some things that I really wish I would have understood, and that would have made me actually just go after some, like, probably better companies. I would have made a lot more money and probably learned a lot quicker. Some of the other things that I've realized, and I actually haven't even realized these things, or started, maybe I didn't realize them, but I didn't take them seriously and start implementing them until recently, was just tracking everything that you do. For sure, like, you need to be tracking your show rates, like who's actually showing up to your calls. You need to be tracking what your close rates are. But on top of that, there's a lot of other indicators that you need to be tracking. So, for instance, tracking what types of objections you're actually getting on calls, and why your sales calls are not closing, and then where your sales are coming from. Are they coming majority from the leads that they're placing on your calendar, or are they coming from your outbound efforts, right, or your follow-up sales? Because not everybody's going to close on a one-call close. All of these things, I have ways that I've been able to set up and track those, and I didn't just figure out all that stuff on my own. As I've progressed through this, I've paid coaches, I've paid mentors to teach me the systems that they have, so that I can make sure that I'm going to be successful in this, right? So that's really important. Like, with anything, any sort of program that your company is offering, any sort of service or product, a lot of times the prospect or the client is, they're making either an investment into themselves or into their company. And so if you, as a closer, or as an individual, you don't have that mindset of investing into yourself, so that you can become a better high performer, that you can make more money, that you can provide better for your family. If you don't have that mindset as well, it's going to be really, really difficult for you to help the people that you're closing to also have that mindset. And so that's another thing that I constantly am doing. Like, I'm constantly investing more into myself. At this point, I've probably invested close to $40,000 just into my own, just for mentorship, coaching, and my own personal development, to be able to just around sales, just around sales. And so, and that's what's been able to make it so that I'm able to make 10K a month. and make six figures, right? Another thing that I think a lot of people think that they can do when they get into this industry as well, is they think that they're just going to be really good, like when they come into it, and that they're like, oh, like I could probably just do this thing part time, and while I do my other job to kind of get into it. And I'm just going to be real with you. Like, maybe there's a couple people out there that I know that have been able to do that. I was not one of them. And I would say that I'm a relatively hard worker. I was not one of those people that was able to make that happen. The very best way that I've seen people do it is when they have a chunk of money, like some savings, that they can live off of, and they just dive right into it and they say, I'm gonna just give this my all. This is definitely not something that you can dive in and be like, I'll just do it part-time. If you're getting on there and you're not 100% focused on that person in that moment, and you're not doing everything in your power to help that person make the best decision for themselves, whether that's them getting your product or service or not, like if you're not there 100% present, then you're going to suck at your job, and that company is not going to want to have you as a closer. So this is something that you really have to be like 100% in on and focused on. Otherwise, you're going to suck. You're not going to make the money that you want to. I mean, you're going to make hardly any money, versus being fully focused. You're going to make really good money, like more than the average American by far, and anyone that's your age, for sure. So anyway, that's my experience in high ticket sales so far. I'm probably gonna make more videos like this just because it's kind of fun talking about it, and uh, so yeah, yeah. And if you have like questions or things like that too, just leave them down below, and I'll probably make more videos like this.